If you suffer from attention deficit, this probably isn't going to be the video for you, because today I'm going to be talking about songs that take up one side of a record. Hi, it's Chris and welcome to another video. Now, I've been retired for over a year now, and being retired enables you to do more things that you want to do. And one of the things I have been doing over the last year or so is playing some of the records that I bought over the years that maybe I haven't always had time to listen to. And over the last couple of days, I've been playing some songs that kind of are all under one theme. That is, they take up one side of a record. It was sparked by listening to a track from this album. This is Live in Japan by Deep Purple. This is the Japanese version of their classic album, Made in Japan. And there's one song that takes up the entire side of vinyl on here, and that's Space Trucking. So originally, on the studio version, it was about 4.5 minutes, but it's extended on the live album to be about 20 minutes long, and it takes in extended instrumental passages and snippets of old songs like Falls from Fireball, and a really, really good version. It's really enhanced that song for me, as does on Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbows on stage live album from '77, the live version of Catch the Rainbow, which is okay as a studio song, but live, just wow, it's just amazing. The guitar work on it is mesmerizing. So I really enjoyed listening to that. I also enjoyed listening to the live version of Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys, which appears on the album of the same name. And this is the live album On the Road that came out in probably about '74 or so. And it's a really good version. Anything that features Steve Winwood is always going to be great. I love his voice. I also enjoyed playing this album as well. And although possibly this is an example where a studio track has been extended in a live setting, maybe a bit too much, but the album is Mountain Live and the track is Nantucket Sleigh Ride. Really good live version. If you like heavy blues rock, then you're going to love that particular track. And it gives an opportunity for guitarist Leslie West to really stretch out. And some bands really do stretch out studio tracks into something that makes them completely different. I think Dark Star by Grateful Dead is a really good example of that. It's a mesmerizing track on this particular album, and the guitar work on it is astonishing. So that's Dark Star from Live Dead. Another good example of a live track that takes up one side of vinyl, which I really enjoyed going back to. I haven't listened to this album for ages, actually. It's a good live album. It feels like you're there. You can almost smell the sweat. Anyway, it's Performance, Rocking the Fillmore, Humble Pie from about '71. It features Steve Marriott, vocals Peter Frampton on guitar. And the track that I listened to was I Walk on Gilded Splinters, the Dr. John song. Takes up one side. Doesn't really outstay its welcome, if I'm honest. The guitar work on it is just amazing. This was a band that was famous for taking studio songs and extending them to create very, very long jams. So Whipping Post, You Don't Love Me take up one side each of this particular album. There's one track on here, it's about 13 minutes long, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed, which is one of my favourite songs by the Allmans, that actually is one side of this particular album. Now, if you've not heard this, I urge you to listen to it, because although it doesn't feature Duane Allman and Dickie Betts is much more to the fore, it has, I think, an absolutely brilliant version of In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. Takes up all of side 2. It's very jazzy and better for it, actually. So it's a wonderful version. Wipe the Windows by the Allman Brothers, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. Now, some genres of music lend themselves to extended songs. That's just the very nature of them. Electronic music, a good example, and Tangerine Dream are a really good example of that. So, albums like Phaedra, for example, with their kind of almost ambient kind of feel to it, are interesting. But this is my favourite album by them, actually. And on side 2 here, we have Ricochet Part 2, which is my favourite track by Tangerine Dream. Takes up one side of the vinyl, as does the title track from Force Majeure. That's about 18 minutes long and takes up side 1, which I also think is one of their best songs. I love that. Now, some prog bands have got form here, haven't they? Close to the Edge by Yes, good example. Echoes, which is a great example of one track on a side. Atom Heart Mother from Pink Floyd. Soft Machine, their third album is only 4 songs and it's a double. Caravan have done it. Van de Graaff Generator have done it. This band also did it on this album. In fact, really, this is one track taken over two sides of vinyl. The first side, Remember the Future Part 1, is I think the better of the two, but this is a really good album. I haven't played this for a long time. I really enjoyed going back to that. So that's Remember the Future, one side, one track. I'm very familiar with, Hemispheres by Rush and 2112, but I've forgotten about Fountains of Lambeth from Caress of Steel, which is nowhere near as good as the others, but it was really interesting to go back to. This is an album that nearly killed the band off, actually, and I haven't played it for years, so that was really interesting to go back to. As was this particular album, so from '68, kind of psychedelic, garage rock kind of stuff. Quicksilver Messenger, with their cover of the Bo Diddley song Who Do You Love, takes up one side, gives each of the musicians in the band an opportunity to stretch out in the different segments of that particular song. Again, never outstays its welcome. Really good track. And it's not just rock bands that do it, actually. I've got two examples to finish with. This is Donna Summer and Love to Love You Baby, and that track takes up side one of the vinyl. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. If you've not heard that, it's certainly worth listening to. And the last example is a really good kind of, it's a great album actually. It's really solid kind of urban groove jazz. This is Grover Washington Jr. and Soulbox. And the track in question takes up all of side two. It's called Trouble Man. It's funky, it's graceful, top-notch musicianship on this. Orchestration just fits the music. Absolutely tremendous. And that's just one side of vinyl. So there's the tracks that take up one side that I've been listening to recently, and that's taken probably a couple of days just to listen to that dozen or so songs. But anyway, tell me what your favourite songs are, the ones that take up one side of vinyl. Any I've missed there, any that I should be listening to, put them in the comments below, and I'll be back sometime soon with another video. Cheers.